Yo, this is a Backpack Brain. Rare recorded video, but I felt like doing a tier list of this, and this is technically spoilers, but I have beat Elden Ring. The VODs will be coming up shortly, in due time, is I think where I land with this. And so I just wanted to do a tier list of this because I finished the base game. I'll probably do the DLC at some point, and yeah, I'd say that's about right. So let's have a run of what the categories are before I go into this classic old YouTube video style things that make no sense. Thoroughly enjoyable means that even if it was hard or if it wasn't hard, I loved learning the patterns. I enjoyed the fight. You know, it's one of those when you beat it, you're like, I kind of enjoyed the process. And then pretty good is like, you know, you're satisfied to get out of the way, but it was still like a good process of doing it. Because this job is like most average bosses, like, and I have no reason to hate it, but I don't love it really. Annoying. It's just like you beat it and you're like, thank fuck, because I really didn't want to do this one again. It's just like you never got a feel of it. You just kind of brute forced it or found some cheese. Forgettable is different to don't remember. Is where I know I fought it, but it's still forgettable. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. And don't fight. I have a lot of optional guys, optional bosses in the game, and I'd say most of them will probably be in here because I did skip a lot of optional bosses, especially in catacombs, because I didn't see any value in going in them. It was just annoying for me. But in any case, I'll have to look up the Wikipedia stuff as well for some of this stuff. But without further ado, also I got nothing else left. Battle Mage use. I've probably fought him. It's a jail ever jail thing. Okay, then I have to put in forgettable because I did do all the ever jails, but okay, Beast of Farah Missoula. I assume this is an early one. I would probably put it as does its job. Now this contradicts, don't remember, but like the early ones, I'm sure I would have done it because it's just regular enemy, but it's called a boss. I know I dodged this guy. I ran straight past him. I have no clue who this is. Bellberry Hunter, also have no clue. Clean Rotten Knight. I would say it does its job. All the base enemies that turn into bosses, they all do their job because they're just bosses. This guy is really annoying, the Black Knife Assassin. Pretty much just very, very constant behavior. It doesn't get stunned for too long with my attack. Every time you can't turn your back on it or you'll get backstabbed with a really long drawn out animation that leads you to lose almost all your health. It's just annoying. I never really like loved fighting this guy, even if it's easy. Commander Neil, I would say pretty good. Very simple, but better than Dallas' job because it can be quite difficult, especially not just the one that's in that castle, but the one that's in rot, the rot lake or whatever it's called in Caelid, the Caelid pool of rot or whatever. I forget. I just beat the game. I still forgot already. And I would say pretty good. Like the mechanics of dodging each swing or whatever, the telegraphed attacks, very easy to learn, but still challenging enough that you have to keep on your guard. Plus, dealing with all the summoned enemies at the beginning isn't decent enough touch. It's not too annoying. Black Blade Kindred, I've seen it and I think I dodged it, so I didn't think I fought this thing. But her Knight Daryl, I would say does its job now. Thank you for giving me your sword. You carried me through the entire game. Always carried a knight. All the knights do their job. I don't have a particular love or hate for them. Commander O'Neill. Is this a different guy? I thought these were the same guy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I thought this was the same guy because their attacks are the same, basically. So I'm gonna put them in the same category. Crucible Knight is annoying. I don't like the Crucible Knight. It's so like it's too tanky for what it is. And you can't stun it basically at all. Like it doesn't get staggered, it doesn't get like stun. You need a perfect parry. You need to parry it, and like I'm fine with parrying stuff, but you know, I like it. I like it when I can knock something down just with a at least with a large attack, which this thing doesn't even do. Essentially speaking, just aliens. These are the ones that die when you destroy their like snail thing, right? These are perfectly forgettable. I don't really think anything of them. The King Anzacs, I definitely didn't fight that. Or this. Or this. These ones are actually pretty good. The Divine Bridge Golem, very telegraphed attacks. It teaches you about weak spots on enemies. And I'd say overall, very pleasing boss. And I'm going to say pretty good for the Dragon Kid Soldier of Noxtella as well. You know? One of the rare bosses where, even though it is a large screen boss, it's not too annoying to have to look up and deal with it. You can dodge the attacks by reading movements, pretty straightforward. So it's not a huge problem for me. And I enjoyed learning to dodge. I think this was also one of the first enemies where jumping actually made sense to do for me. I cleaned that one out as well. Ultra Avatar, honestly, I'm gonna say annoying because of the oh no, the putrid tree spirit is the one that yeah, okay. The base one that doesn't have the rot does its job. I don't have any particular qualms with it, but I also don't really love it. Like it's very basic. I need another category between forgettable and between annoying, forgettable, and straight up bad. Like I need a bad tier. Can I add a bad tier? Hold on. Guess follow my Twitter. I don't know. I forgot I had that thing. Add a row below. Bad. There we go. We added a bad tier just for the requirements. I don't remember this guy, but I think I did fight him, so I'm gonna put him here. I definitely didn't fight this guy because I think this is one of the first catacombs I watched Northern Lion play it. Both of these, I think they have similar attack patterns. I did fight them. I think they're both annoying. I just never liked it. It was just miserable trying to fight that, stab them in their little faces, running around all the time, etc. Can't say I enjoyed it particularly very much at all. Bell Twins, I would say they're very forgettable. You just spawn into that boss fight, fully black arena, they die pretty quickly if you're anywhere reasonably leveled. Dragonkin Soldier, I have no clue, but I think I must have fought it. And I know I dodged this guy because I saw the walkthrough and I was like, I'm not fighting this optional boss. Fierce Champion, I did not fight. Elden Beast, I'm gonna straight up say Elden Beast sucks. This is maybe the whole reason I made this tier list is just to call Elden Beast a terrible final boss. Like, it's pretty much only there. Like, maybe it's just me. It looks weird. Why does it have a sword? Why does it look like a floppy cock? I mean, that's fine in and of itself, but like, I feel like I just needed something else from the final boss of the game, and it didn't give it to me. So that's what I personally think. But that's just me. That's just me. A Lemur of the Briar, no clue. I must have fought him, but Fire Giant. Fire Giant's pretty good, honestly. I kind of enjoyed the fight. The first stage attacks are very dodgeable and easy to punish. Second stage attacks are actually telegraphable if you pay attention. I didn't pay attention the first times. I was like, why am I being burnt? It's on the floor. But honestly, it's pretty easy to damage this guy. You just got to keep your wits about you for the attacks, and you'll get through it. And I enjoyed the process of whittling him down. It wasn't too irksome for me. Every dragon fight goes and annoying because the one thing I hate about bosses in this game is the fact that they made so many bosses like large like creatures that you have to look up in your camera and that take up your entire field of view. I'm just I just never like it when something is like up in the sky and I'm not it just I just didn't like the controlling way the way that controlled. So under this dragon also goes in here. God for the gifted, which is I think Godrick, but like the jail version. Both Godrick and his alternate form are pretty good bosses, I'd say. Very easy to telegraph, very easy to dodge and learn. Great learning aspects of that first part, especially with the different X combos and baiting them into attacks. His second phase is kind of a joke once you realize that you can just rush him, and but he does change up some of his attacks, which is also nice. And this is pretty much the same deal. But for the first Elden Lord, also it's pretty good. I wouldn't quite put it in thoroughly enjoyable, but you know, I would say since you fight the first Godfrey Shade, the Golden Shade, the first time you do the capital, this Godfrey is kind of not very difficult. The first phase and the second phase is actually just a game of dodging at the exact right time and then you stab him. So I would say for like a almost last boss, like pre last boss sort of situation, definitely not very hard. Although of course I would have just improved at the game as well. But I think I enjoyed the first part and then I can't say I didn't enjoy this one. I think the Noble and Apostle by themselves are pretty good. As in they do their job, they're not pretty good in like the literal sense of what I mean. There's tier, but they're good enough for a boss. Together, it's just too annoying. I don't want to deal with these two guys. It's not even necessarily difficult, but like, you know, you just have to bait one away from the other and then hope that you can take that aggro away for long enough. That's fine. After time, this was the very first boss that you died to, right? I would put it as his job. It's supposed to kill you, and if you kill it, then you get nice loot for it. Oh, I would say pretty nice. Kindred of Rod, that's that like weird thing that shoots spikes at you. This is definitely annoying. It keeps moving about. If you don't have a very good range on your weapon, then you're in pretty bad luck and you gotta chase it. It's annoying, but it's not hard. It's just annoying. Grave Warden Julius, I got no clue who that is. Leaning Misbegotten, I would say forgettable. I did it just to follow the grace directions, and I've pretty much already forgotten exactly what the moves are. Didn't take me very long to beat it either. Cordyceps, don't think I fought. The Lion Guardian, I think is forgettable. I forget what this guy does. No clue. Loretta, I would say does his job. It's basically just an enhanced version of a Tree Guardian, as all the Tree Guardian-esque bosses are. I did not fight the Mad Pumpkinhead. Mimic tier, honestly pretty good. Because I'll say this, it made me aware of like movement. When I fought Mimic tier is the first time I learned you can do a jumping large attack. I didn't realize you could do it before that, but then it used it against me and I was like, my weapon doesn't do that. And I learned and it does. So actually, it's actually kind of fun to fight a clone of your current build when it shows up, even if it's not hard. Okay, Miranda the Blighted Bloom did not fight, I don't think. The Omen Morg, it does its job. Lord of Blood Morg is pretty good, bordering on annoying, but I think it's late enough in the game if you don't take the questline route. And if you get the potion that nullifies his magic, the one that kills you, then I'd say it's actually pretty much you can dodge it like in a fairly reasonable telegraphed way. And Omen is just an easier version of that. So I would say it's a little bit worse actually, but Magma Worm is just annoying. Really, really, really slow attacks, like not very engaging. You just had to dodge, attack. Like that's all these bosses, but I didn't feel like I learned anything. I felt like as soon as I saw him, I knew how to beat him, and it was not very fun. Melina, I loved fighting Melina. The process of learning how to dodge that spam attack, figuring out how to exploit the downtime on when she like bombs you with the flower of the Scarlet Rod or whatever, figuring out the right time to jump attack her, figuring out which attacks you can stun through, which ones you can't stun through, etc. Very, very fun. Way easier than people say it is, although I'm pretty sure someone will come and say, like, oh, but you beat it using a weapon. You should beat it with your bare fist on level 1, and then you'll find it's very hard. But, I love fighting that straw man because it's so easy to win against that straw man, Like, you could just you could play any game and make it hard for yourself if you remove the things in the game that make it easy. You know what I mean? But anyway, I really hated Meliketh the Black Blade. It's just so miserably annoying because all he does is he jumps in the air, he like shoots his sword beams at you, and then he lands, and then his sword has like a bomb range. Or you just have to get behind him, but then you gotta keep moving your camera. It's just not for me, but I'm actually thankful that I beat this guy when I did, because otherwise it could have been forever, because I felt like I was just playing on luck. I didn't feel like I was skillfully dodging the attacks based on timings. I feel like I just got lucky for it. That's why I really don't like it. Margit Godrick, probably my favorite boss. Taught me everything I know. My goat. First serious boss that got people to quit. Well, I fought Var because I fought Maidenless. But that's not really a boss, right? And Margit, I think, very great telegraphed attacks, teaches you how to bait in an AI, teaches you how to roll, into attacks, teaches you when you can find safe timings to hit someone and when you can just take your time, etc. I love pretty much everything about Margit. It's kind of this is one of the rare moments of nostalgia for this game is going back and looking at how bad I was when I fought Margit, and then now, dodge, dodge, attack, dodge, attack. Like the timings are just ingrained now. Didn't fight this guy. Probably fought this person and forgot. Morgott is just Margit, but different. So I'm gonna put them in the same tier. Technically, you can fight Morgott without fighting Margit, so I think it's fair to put them in the same tier. They have basically the same kind of attacks, delayed attacks. This thing is annoying because of the rot. Scarlet Rot's got to be one of the most pathetic and annoying parts of this game, and I know that that's gonna offend some Scarlet Rot fanatic, but it's just like, do I really need poison and Scarlet Rots both to exist in the game? Different variants of things that fill up a bar and then deplete a bar that attacks your health, but poison lasts a while and does very little damage, and Scarlet Rot lasts a little bit less but does a lot more damage. And like, if you stay in Scarlet Rot or if you stay in Poison, like there's different. I don't think like all of the some of the complexities is just parts of the game that I didn't need. The games are not made for you, but it's my review. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be true to yourself, even if you're not true to anybody else. I think it doesn't hurt anybody to forget this guy. It doesn't hurt anybody to try it. I think I'm doing this out of order now. The Ancestor Spirit does its job. It dodges its attacks a lot, but it's not actually hard to dodge. It's very easy to see it, especially if you stay near the feet. All it does is try to stomp at you, and you can dodge it. It's fine. Royal Knight Loretta. Oh, you're the one that shoots at you. You're pretty forgettable. You don't do anything. Knights Cavalry. You do your job. The horse bosses, especially the ones you could fight on horse. The Nox duo, forgettable, very easy to fight at that stage in the game. You can basically stun them with anything, like no issue. I don't think I fought Omen Killer. I think Onyx Lord is also forgettable. Pretty much does nothing to you. I think both Radagon and the Elden Beast are just bad. That's just me. I think maybe the atmospheric part of Radagon is kind of cool. And Elden Beast atmospheric part I did not vibe with as much. They could have made it a more eldritch and less like glowing galaxy. Well, not less glowing galaxy, but less like, floppy toy vibes. And why does it have a sword? Why does it have a sword? I think Radagon's attacks could be a little bit cooler than just he hits you with a hammer that has the Elden Ring insignia when it slams on the ground. And it's got one really annoying grab attack, and you just have to dodge. And I don't think I had any fun with him, personally speaking. I think that this was just like a chore to finish the game compared to Melania, which was so much fun. It was strange to have the boss that isn't like the final boss of the game have so much more fun and like interestingness in it, whereas these guys kind of very mid, but also where is he? Godfrey was also really good compared to these guys. So maybe that's just like, you made it there. Red Wolf, I'm between Deus Job and annoying. I want to put it as annoying. The jumping bite attacks. The most annoying part of this Red Wolf is the arena you fight it in is so small that you get stuck getting comboed by it because you just can't dodge away. When you fight this thing as a normal mob later on, it's so easy because you can dodge any which way in like the open plains of that Seofa River or something like that. I forget. The place where you fight the Rigo and Sensor Spirit. That place. Brightcloud Lord of Blasphemy. I'm gonna say thoroughly enjoyable. The only reason I enjoy this is because they give you the sword that becomes super powered in that one arena. So it felt like a little mini game, because the sword basically has insane range. So as someone who basically ran a regular ass sword, it felt like I had a nice little switch up, atmospheric switch up, And the charge attack, the swipe attack, it felt like I was playing a different kind of game for a moment with a different kind of reach with my weaponry, and it felt a lot of fun, which is why I was thoroughly enjoyable. Would try again. Scaly Misbegotten. This is just a regular enemy, but boss version. Who cares? Sir Gideon Ofnir. Bro, you should not have been there, to be honest with you. Like, why did you fight me? We were chilling, and then you were like, you can't be Elden Lord, and I just killed him. Like, it was so pathetic. Soldier of Godrick. Honestly, pretty good for, like, one of the first things you ever fight. It's kind of nice to have it be a, what do you call it? What do you call it? Like a regular enemy so quickly. It like the scaling of your expectations to get set pretty quick. Teaches you basic mechanics. It's not really hard, but I think at the point when you're at this point of the game and you're truly new to the game, it's actually quite engaging at that level. I think they put it in the right place. This is what I'm trying to say. I don't remember this thing. I don't think I fought this guy. This thing sucks. Sasco Jordan. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say does its job if you fight it with the summons, which I did. It's pretty acceptable if you fight it with the summons because then he's distracted and you can actually deal the damage. Fighting this thing alone, when I did try it every so often, it's just so annoying. Or you spend like the entire fight running and running and running, and then you dodge, and then you get a couple stabs, and then you're back to running and dodging, and then the second phase happens, and then you got even more running and even more dodging, and then you get even less damage in. It's just a chore without the summons. And atmospherically, it makes sense to have the summons because it's like a war arena, everyone's fighting the Radahn. Just makes sense. I don't think I remember this guy. Maybe a Mariner. Annoying tier. Keeps disappearing and reappearing. I've spent ages fighting him when I was lower level, and then later on you could just destroy him, chew through that damage. I think these two, one of them I didn't fight and one of them I did fight, but they're basically the same boss. So I'm going to put them both in does its job, even though I didn't fight one of them, because I don't remember which one I did and didn't fight. Grey Sentinel, it's actually pretty good. It teaches you the difficulty curve early, and it's fairly dodgeable and predictable. I didn't mind it. I don't remember this guy. I did fight that guy, but I remember these things suck. I hate them. They're one of the most annoying things to fight because they're so tanky and unstunnable, and they only have a few moves. But one of the moves you just have to wait. Like it's just no fun. Most of these bosses that I did fight are very forgettable because as when I went and cleared up the jails, I fought them as a higher level and I didn't really do much. Valiant Gargoyle as a boss is very annoying because it just keeps moving and jumping about, flying. It's not difficult. Actually, I would say it does its job because unless it's talking about the dual pair one, which is really terrible. But this one, no problem with it. Worm Face, I don't think I fought. Renala, Coin of the Full Moon, it's between annoying and it does its job, but it's probably just about does its job. The first phase is of course trivial, and the second phase is maybe in between annoying and good. There is tactics to it. The tactics is just a brute rush her because she can't handle being close range, and the defensive attacks at close range actually don't do very much. You can dodge them, which I didn't realize until later in the game. And there's no real third like phase to it, so you can just rush her, which is fine. And I fought this guy, but I remember. Okay, this is that's the final tier list. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to send me all your disagreements because you've played this game on NG+9 and you think that Borealis the Freezing Fog is really like a key part of the story of this game. Or you're here to tell me that Melina is actually really difficult and you're proud of yourself for beating her without dodging, without shielding, by using your fists on level 1. And yeah, just to be clear, I did like Elden Ring. I had a lot of fun playing it. Like, just in case it isn't clear, like, it is a great game, for sure. I'll make a proper review later though, but for now you can have a little bit of this. Like, link, subscribe, etc.